Check this out, y'all. Vernon Jones went absolutely nuclear on Obama. I mean, seriously, like the video, follow, repost, do all the things, because you have got to hear this.
What happens when the other side has repeatedly and abundantly made clear they are not interested in playing by the rules? It's a problem. And when that happens, we fight for what we believe in. There are going to be times, potentially, when one side tries to stack the deck and lock in a permanent grip on power, either by actively suppressing votes or politicizing the armed forces or using the judiciary, the criminal justice system to go after opponents. And in those circumstances, pluralism does not call for us to just stand back and say, well, I'm not sure. That's okay. In those circumstances, a line has been crossed, and we have to stand firm and speak out and organize and mobilize as forcefully as we can. But even in those circumstances, it's important to look for allies in unlikely places. And too often we assume the people on the other side.
Vernon Jones just unleashed a bombshell targeting Obama and Clinton, and the internet is exploding. His fiery criticism has everyone talking, and the political fallout is just beginning.
Very different ballgame today than it was even 4 years ago, never mind 8 or 10 years ago when she was doing all this. And back to Hillary. You know, the whole, she has a hat she's tweeted herself out wearing, but her emails. She's tried to turn it into this ridiculous joke, like, oh, but the moon landing, like you nutcases who are still railing about this made-up scandal, this thing that, you know, you've used to try to unfairly tar me. She did need to distract from that email scandal, which was around her neck like an albatross. Trust me, we were covering it every night on the Kelly File at Fox News. She had clearly violated the law with that homebrew server that had been accessed by foreign agents. She compromised national intelligence information. She did things she would never have allowed anybody at the State Department to do under her. And that leaves me back to Schellenberger here. This is page 4 of his report. He writes as follows: the Russian reports, again, that the Dutch spied on, that we got our hands on, also claimed, and listen to this, I mean, you probably already know this stuff, Glenn, but claimed that Attorney General Loretta Lynch, okay, this is back in 2016, people, remember, Obama's president, Loretta Lynch is his Attorney General, and her DOJ/F are investigating the Hillary Clinton scandal, and also now we learn simultaneously working with the Hillary Clinton campaign to bury that scandal in favor of calling Trump an agent.
Jones is accusing top leaders of manipulating power, boldly questioning the integrity and transparency of some of the nation's highest offices, and he's not pulling any punches in the process.
Okay, so the reports also claim that Attorney General Loretta Lynch had privately told a Clinton campaign official, and they name her, Amanda Renteria, that she, Lynch, would make sure the server investigation did not, quote, go too far. So this is the sitting Attorney General reassuring the group that's representing one of her targets of an investigation, don't worry, I got this. We got to do something because it looks bad, but it's not going to go too far. Wink, wink. This is stuff. Goes on as follows. After receiving the reports, the FBI, which is under DOJ, so technically Loretta Lynch is their boss, they went to Loretta Lynch and gave her what's described here as a defensive briefing. Like, yo, boss, the Russians have documents proving you had a meeting with the Clinton campaign and you told them you're not going to let our investigation into her go too far. And Andrew McCabe told investigators that Loretta Lynch's reaction was, quote, odd. And James Baker, the general counsel, noted Loretta Lynch's reaction upon learning of these allegations, quote, smelled bad. Baker stated, quote, how bothered he personally was when Lynch simply responded, thank you, after the briefing. This woman should be in jail Literally, Hillary should be behind bars. And so should the people who work for her who did this. This is so blatantly corrupt. She wanted to distract from her email scandal. She cooked up a plan to accuse.
This isn't just some throwaway political rumor. It's grounded in newly declassified documents that strip away layers of secrecy. What's being exposed? Alleged political maneuvering and strategic silence surrounding Hillary Clinton's infamous email server, with troubling implications about the Obama administration's possible involvement. These aren't minor claims, they stir deep questions about how much we truly know about the people empowered. If you're into real political takedowns, hit that subscribe button. Your support keeps this channel alive, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's dig even deeper because this story is far from over. What we're witnessing isn't just political buzz, it's a full-blown tsunami. These declassified files have turned up the heat on some major political players, including Hillary Clinton, Loretta Lynch, and key members of Obama's inner circle. This isn't theater. These are serious concerns about possible breaches of trust with massive implications for how our democracy is being run.
And it appears they were only too happy to assist. That's what this scandal's about. Pieces of it we knew. New pieces are coming in by the day thanks to these declassifications. And it's downright shocking. Do not believe that there's no there there. The people who are saying that are wrong. They're wrong. What just broke today, like moments before we came to air, we're still getting our arms around it, was obviously provided to Michael Schellenberger before 2 minutes ago. And his Substack page, Public, that's the name of it, has a fantastic breakdown of what's in this new piece of information, the annex to the Durham report. You remember John Durham was the special counsel appointed under Trump to go through what had been done to him and try to figure out who did it, who helped, and whether anyone should be prosecuted. Well, even his information was not made entirely public. All right, now we reported that the Durham report, again, which investigated how this crossfire hurricane in 2016 investigation into Trump allegedly being an agent and or members of his team allegedly being agents, got started. How did this massive fraud get perpetrated on Team Trump and on...
Let's break this all down, because what's emerging isn't just another round of political noise. It's a revelation rooted in newly declassified documents that are pulling back the curtain on one of the most controversial chapters in modern American politics, at the center, Hillary Clinton's private email server and how it was allegedly handled, or more accurately, mishandled by the FBI under James Comey. According to these documents, the FBI failed to fully investigate Clinton's use of the private server, despite it potentially containing classified information. Let that sink in for a moment. We're talking about an incomplete investigation into a system that could have stored some of the nation's most sensitive data, and it gets even more concerning. The documents claim that hard drives holding sensitive content, including emails from then-President Barack Obama, were never properly searched. So, was this just bureaucratic negligence, or was there something more deliberate at play? That's the question shaking the public right now. This brings us right back to the chaos of the 2016 election cycle. Remember how the Clinton email scandal dominated headlines. The debates, the press conferences, the questions about transparency, it was everywhere. But now a fresh wave of concern is rising over whether justice was ever truly served. Were certain powerful figures protected behind closed doors while the public was fed a different narrative? These newly released documents also suggest that the Obama administration may have downplayed the severity of Clinton's investigation, all while pushing the Trump-Russia collusion narrative into the national spotlight. That same narrative would eventually spark the infamous Crossfire hurricane investigation into the Trump campaign. If true, this paints a picture of strategic deflection, shifting public scrutiny away from their own potential missteps by redirecting attention toward political rivals. It's political chess at the highest level. and the implications are nothing short of explosive. Now for the kicker. Reports suggest that then Attorney General Loretta Lynch may have privately reassured the Clinton campaign that the investigation wouldn't go too far. Think about that. The top official in charge of ensuring impartial justice allegedly offering a verbal safety net to the very people being investigated. That's not just inappropriate. That's a glaring conflict of interest. If those conversations happened, as described, it paints an image of an administration more interested in preserving power than upholding the law. But this isn't just about political optics or bureaucratic blunders. It's about something much deeper, the erosion of public trust. When people start believing that those in power can play by a different set of rules, faith in the entire democratic system starts to crack. So ask yourself, are these leaders truly serving the public, or are they serving themselves? The fallout from all of this is real and growing. Public frustration is reaching a boiling point. People are tired of the double standards, the carefully curated media narratives, and the endless dodging of accountability. And it's not just one side of the political aisle feeling this way. This goes beyond party lines. At the heart of it is a demand for integrity and transparency, values that seem increasingly rare in modern politics. And here's the real-world impact. If leaders can operate above the law without consequences, what precedent does that set for future administrations? What message does it send to the public and to the next generation of leaders? Another key point, one that shouldn't be ignored, is the inconsistency in media coverage. Some outlets are treating this like breaking news. Others, barely a whisper. Whether it's selective reporting or a fear of political backlash, it only adds fuel to the fire of public skepticism. But the documents exist. The implications are serious. And the silence from certain corners only makes people more suspicious as more documents continue to surface. One thing is certain, this story is far from over. More names could emerge. More connections could be exposed. And with that, more legal and political consequences could follow. The big question now is, who will be held accountable? And when scandals like this don't just test the integrity of our institutions, they test the resilience of our democracy itself. Each new revelation chips away at public confidence, raising a troubling question. How can we move forward if trust in leadership keeps eroding? At the end of the day, this moment demands vigilance. We can't afford to look away or shrug it off as just politics. The public has a responsibility to stay informed, ask tough questions, and demand real answers. What do you think about all of this? Do you believe more truth will come to light, or will it all be swept under the rug? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to hear what you think. And if you're hungry for more truth, subscribe, because we're just getting started.